John Steinbeck wrote, "A writer out of loneliness is trying to communicate like a distant star sending signals." He's not telling or teaching or ordering. Rather, he seeks to establish a relationship of meaning, of feeling, of observing. We are lonesome animals. We spend all life trying to be less lonesome. I agree, for the most part, with most of this, which response, by its very slipperiness, says I disagree, too. It's more sentimental than I would put it. I'm not sure I work out of loneliness, although that could be true. Steinbeck probably probed this deeper than I have, or can. And loneliness, for certain, is a powerful motivator. But instead of the more emotional word lonely, I think I would choose to say isolated. I think we are all isolated beings, and we communicate in order to feel less so, to be increasingly connected with the rest of the world. Total isolation, no communication whatsoever, solitary confinement, would be painful. Faced with that prospect, an individual would seek to communicate. Communication would come immediately after food and water. When I think of why I or anyone would write, I don't think first of writing at all. The first thing that comes to my mind are the Paleolithic paintings in the caves at Lascaux. These depictions of animals, hunting scenes, prehistoric art they are called, are considered to be at least 17,300 years old. Why did someone go to the trouble of making them? The pyramids in Egypt, same question. What are they doing there? All of that phenomenal effort, why? Next, I think of the so-called golden records that were on board the 2 Voyager satellites shot out into space in 1977. You can look up what is on them. A careful inventory was kept, and for me the question is exactly the same as the one posed by the caves at Lascaux. Why did someone go to the trouble of doing this? Finally, when I think about this and try to relate it directly to writing, a piece of writing does come to mind, and that would of course be that seminal document, what has come to be known as the Diary of Anne Frank, posing once more that question, why? Why bother? For me, the answer in every case is exactly the same. It's like that distant star of Steinbeck's, except for me it's not sending a signal, only light. And that light says, I am here. I exist. The message is, I exist. The meaning of that message is that I want someone or something to recognize that, not to corroborate it, but to reinforce it, as it were, second the motion. One, isolated, is not a quorum. In our very nature as sexual procreators, we seek that union, that quorum. We have to. I exist. That is the primary message of the cave paintings, the pyramids, the golden records, the diary. The fitful graffito. The star may have ceased to burn out light years ago. The satellites may never find an audience. Anne Frank is dead, but all of these still say, I was here. And I would like it if someone else knew it. The message is something of a question. Hello? Beyond that, the message may extend into, this is what I was like. This is what I did. This is what I wanted. This is what I loved. This is who I am, who I was, what I was. That's the primary impulse behind communication, as I see it. I would be remiss, however, and I don't want that, if I failed to note Samuel Johnson's famous quote, "No man but a blockhead ever wrote except for money." It's true you can write for money. Many do, as well as for other specific reasons. I would say that these factors contaminate the essential message in direct proportion to their significance in the endeavor. Finally, I would also mention the simple pleasure that can be obtained in doing something you can do well. The athlete knows this, the musician, the mathematician, the carpenter, and so on. For a writer, a word-slinger, there is the selection, use, and arrangement of words taken from the treasure chest of language, guided by the supple grammar, building a thought, compounding it, using it to reach another, creating that most functional and beautiful of all structures, a bridge that allows you to go to a place you did not know until you got there. That can be a wonderful feeling, a tremendous satisfaction, especially if you can take someone else there by that same path and share it with them, word for word, exactly as you found it.